Hi friends! In this video I want to talk about some of the hobbies you can pick up this spring that you might enjoy. Sometimes starting a new hobby can be a little bit daunting, or at least that's how I feel, because you need some knowledge or you need to watch YouTube tutorials, or it's just something that takes up a lot of time, and yeah, you need to know stuff before you can start. But some of these hobbies I will talk about, you don't need any knowledge and you can just jump in straight away if you want. So the first hobby I want to talk about is making mood boards. And I tried making a mood board the first time because I'm in some kind of winter blues. The days have been really gray and I'm yearning for some spring, for some sun, flowers, for everything to bloom around me. So I decided to make a spring mood board, and it really helped me to feel a little bit better and dream about spring. And that's also how I got into making another mood board for gardening, because we moved in here in May, I would say. Our garden is huge. It's very big. It's one of the reasons why we've chosen to move here, because we have a big garden and a lot of space for our dog Ocha to run around in. But it was really empty and it just needed some love. The garden needs some love. That's how I got around making a mood board for our garden. I browsed on Pinterest for some time to see what kind of things I like, things I would like to see in our garden, and also what's possible, but also making sure that we aren't doing too expensive things in the garden, because we are still renting this place, it's still not ours. So I'm not sure if I want to put a lot of money in the garden and having to leave it here when we move. I think some of the plants you can move with you when you move, but I'm unsure how it works. So I still don't want to put too much effort and money in the garden, but I still want it to look nice this spring and summer. So that's how I got around making a mood board for spring. I really enjoy doing it because it really brightens my mood to see all of these lively yellow colors and green colors. It just made me really happy, and to see chickens in the garden and geese, and yeah, I just felt so much better browsing on Pinterest looking for spring ideas. That's how we get to the second hobby or activity you can try this spring, and that's gardening. To me, gardening feels a bit overwhelming when I think about it, because I know very little about gardening. I love flowers, I love botanicals, but my knowledge is extremely little, and honestly I don't know where to start. But if you mix up the browsing on Pinterest and looking for garden ideas that are maybe easy to start with, it will help you to actually put the work in your garden. So that's how we started working in our garden. Because of working in your garden can feel a little overwhelming, I wanted to talk about the small things you can try. Even on your balcony you can try it, because I know not all of you have a garden. We also lived in the city for a long time and we didn't have a garden, but we did have a balcony, and even on a balcony you can do wonderful things. You can make it cozy over there, you can grow vegetables, you can grow fruits. The things I have tried when we lived in the city were strawberries, I believe, and then some vegetables. I think a broccoli I grew back then, and a lot of flowers. So you can start as small as you want, even if you don't have a garden. But our plans this spring and summer are a little bit bigger because our garden allows to. Our plans for our garden this year, I've created some separate places in our garden, as you will see in the clips I will show you, to put a lot of high flowers to make our garden feel a bit more full, because it's just very empty at the moment. And I think even if we did all the work that I would like to, our garden will still look quite empty because it's just so big. But so there will be a lot of flowers at the back of our garden. I hope to grow some vegetables. And as I said, you don't have to know a lot about gardening. It's just experimenting and trying. The reason why I am mentioning gardening in this video is because it's such a fulfilling hobby, and it makes me really happy to be able to plant something in fall or even winter and see something come out of it around spring and summer. And as I said, you can start as small as you want. I promise you, you will love seeing how it grows in your garden or on your balcony. The next craft I want to talk about is stamp making or stamp carving. I have done this in the past a few times and I really enjoyed it. It's a very relaxing thing to do, and the only thing you have to think about is the design you want to make. But even if you don't feel like you have enough inspiration for a design, you can look up some drawings on Pinterest, or I have a pretty big collection of bird books and books about butterflies and plants, and sometimes when I feel a bit uninspired, I tend to open them up and just browse through them and see if there's something I like and I can make an illustration of. The stamps I've made before have been mostly botanicals, I feel like, but there have been some other drawings that my boyfriend has made, and I asked if I was allowed to turn them into stamps. And one of my favorite stamps is actually a bunny he drew, and inside the bunny you can see the skeleton of it, and it also has these little, I don't know how you call it, horns. I don't know if that's the right term, but it's a drawing I really love. Once you have made your stamps, you can use them in your journal, you can use them to send to pen pals, or the thing that I've been dreaming about is to use a tote bag and stamp my drawings onto it and have your own design of a tote bag. But I know there are also some pencil cases you can put your stamps on, or to be honest, you can do a lot of things with your stamps, and it's just so much fun and it's really easy to get into. The only thing I have to say is that you need a few tools to be able to make the stamps. You need the material to cut the stamps out of, you also need the tools itself to cut with, and then you might need some paint to be able to get started. Carving the stamp isn't that difficult. The only thing you have to make sure is that you don't put too much pressure on the tool, because you can slip into your finger and hurt yourself. The last hobby I want to talk about is embroidery, and I know I've touched this subject in my previous video and I've talked about it, but I feel like it's such a cozy hobby and it doesn't require a lot of skill, and it's so easy to get into that I still wanted to mention it. So it's cross-stitch embroidery. It's not the same as regular embroidery. I feel like it is much easier and you don't need as much knowledge about how to make certain stitches. The only thing you have to do is make crosses the whole time, and that's the only stitch you have to know. It's something you have to repeat the whole process, and then you follow a pattern, and eventually you will have a drawing of whatever you like. So it can be, I've done botanicals in the past, but this time I'm working on a towel with a pink pattern, a modern pattern I found in a book. So that's what I'm working on now. And honestly, if you need a cozy hobby that doesn't require a lot of skill, that doesn't require a lot of knowledge, and it's easy to get into, I really want to recommend cross-stitch embroidery to you. So that were all the hobbies I wanted to talk about in this video. I really hope that some of them you haven't tried yet and it might have sparked some interest and you want to give it a try. And if so, I hope you will enjoy doing it and you will have a cozy time. And yeah, thank you for watching.